The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
I'm back. What is up? It's your boy Cali, aka Mr. LDS, and today we have the one and only Dirty Night Man. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna get real. Did he bring Wanda out? Ha! Stay tuned. Check it out. Let's go.
What did you say, nigga?
I say something slick, you getting packed the fuck out. Homie, I'm about to black the fuck out.
What is up? It's your boy Cali, aka Mr. LDS, and today we have the one and only, the newly partnered Ragusa. So our first question today is gonna be, where are you from?
Houston, born in Houston, Texas.
Okay, now for the ones that don't know, is it Ragusa, Ragusa? You know, like, how do you pronounce it?
Ragusa, so it's a Sicilian name. So my great grandfather, he come on the boat from Sicily, Ragusa, Sicily, which is a province in Italy.
Okay.
He come on the boat to Ellis Island to New York. So I'm 50% Italian. So my father, born and raised in Long Island, New York. So I guess that would make me second generation. So that's how you say the name Ragusa. So it's actually a province. And then whenever my father left New York, come to Texas, meet my mother, and then they make a baby. That baby was me.
All right. Now, we are on a hot seat. We're going to start it off early. This is a question I actually had from another viewer. What's the beef with Jedi?
Oh, Jedi. Okay, Jedi. I know what you're talking about now. Well, there was no beef, right? Like, I like Jedi. I've been nice to him. I always am nice. You can ask anybody. Like, people that are trying to stream or starting off, it's very hard. It's very difficult. But then when something is said to me, to somebody, by somebody that I've been kind to, it makes me mad, right? Like, that's why, like, people get confused with, like, how me and you used to, like, you know, beef it out or whatever and say stuff. But I never, like, I don't know, one night I was just like, I wanted to let you know, because in the world of nastiness, and then I'll answer your question, the world's so nasty, I want to make sure that the person that I'm, like, talking, like, you know, trash or shit to understands that, like, I don't actually hate them, right? Like, I don't actually want them to think that I'm some evil, mean person, because that's not me. And then when you told me that you didn't think that, and then I see that you're a dad, and then it's like, you know, I mean, I think we chat every now and then. We're cool. But Jedi, he see my Wanda picture, and he tried to take a shot at me. He says, his exact words were, you ain't got to lower yourself to this. And if you hear that or read that, you could read that in Japanese, Chinese, or whatever language you want. That's just a stupid thing to say to me, because anyone that knows me knows I didn't do anything to take myself anywhere. I didn't do Wanda for subs. We did Wanda to throw a party and make fun of me because we already had the subs. And then to post, like, you ain't got to lower yourself. Like, I think you could understand why there would be, I mean, there ain't no beef. I don't think about the guy, but, you know, I mean, he could have had a friend with me, and now, you know, I'm just not his friend. I don't hate him or nothing, but it's just, he could have posted anything. He could have laughed at me or been like everyone else, like when I say, you know, Wanda's the baddest bitch in gaming, you know, and W, or a lot of people are like, no, what the fuck, you know, like that's the kind of comments like that I'm laughing at.
Right.
When someone, do you understand the difference though? Like, I don't want to drag it out, but when someone tries to take a character shot, like, you ain't got to lower yourself to this. What am I lowering myself to, bro? I'm so content with my personality, sexuality, and all that other stuff that it's okay for me to make sure that people, like, get a good laugh in at me when I have a mustache and makeup on. I mean, I think you understand.
Yeah. Now, will there ever be a chance to squash any problem that you guys had?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem now. I mean, I just said what I had to say. I mean, I don't think I don't think he's banned in the chat or nothing. He just hasn't come by. I mean, I have no problem with him. I mean what I said. There's no reason to take a character shot at me and try to, like, you know, be cute with those words when I wasn't nothing but kind to you, right? You know? That's what's funny about me and you is we just started talking shit to each other, but, you know, never in that was there we didn't even know each other yet, you know? I mean, now, you know, I don't really see you make character shots at me, and I hope I don't take character shots at you ever since I've gotten to know you on a personal level from the personal level that can be reached, you know, via small talk, you know? You've got a daughter, I have a daughter. We have a lot in common. Our daughters walked at the same age, you know? That stuff is cool as shit to me in a world of so much just bullshit, really. I don't know if I can say that. Maybe you can blurt me out.
No, that's cool.
You know?
Yeah. Now, next question. Is there any hate towards LDS?
No.
Okay.
No hate.
All right, now...
No hate. I have my favorite members is the old man and then his nephew. Those are my favorites, but... And they were LDS before, you know, everyone else. You know, they were with you for a while now. That was his name. I didn't know what the hell it meant when I first met him. And even whenever, you know why I like those people, and you should too, is even when me and you were talking mess back and forth, he never once changed how he treated me, right? Like, just because someone doesn't like you or me, but if you like me or I like you, why would I treat you different based on how someone feels about you, unless I feel that way, right? And that's what the problem is with society. They're not strong enough in their own opinions. Even your mama, who I tell him I don't fucking like almost a lot of the shit, almost all the shit that he goes about doing sometimes. I can't fucking stand it. I see him make content. Like, there was a video he did the other day talking about the game, and you know, he has his own little words he throws in, but then he does shit that I'm like, I don't know why people do that. They do it to themselves, though. But until somebody, and I told him, like, he wanted me to do an interview with him about joining Need It, and I thought about it, and then I was like, you know, no, I don't want to, because I thought we had an understanding, like, yeah, make your videos, make fun of me, do your music videos, that shit's cool, but then he's got to always sneak into stupid ass shit that ain't true, and then on the phone he tells me, well, yeah, I mean, I know that you didn't say that, but I misunderstood it. I'm like, well, then you fucking tweeted it, though, and that type of shit fucking bothers me, right? Like, don't fucking... Unless somebody says something, I mean, even me, I mean, I ain't gonna go tweeting fucking shit, but I damn sure wouldn't tweet nothing if somebody didn't say something, you know?
Right. Now,
that kind of stuff makes me mad.
Are you performing for the camera, or do you really get this nasty?
Performing for the camera, get this nasty? You would have to explain what that question means.
Okay, now, as far as, aside from the Wanda stuff, you know, when you get into your deep voice and you looking into the camera, like, are you really like this on camera or an off camera, or, like, you know, off camera you like a normal person?
Oh, is that a question, or that's a question from you? Did somebody ask you? This is a question from somebody else. My question is, you'll know. Oh, that's hilarious. No, man, I'm not. I mean, I'm definitely an intense person. Like, I wish I could find, like, locker room videos from, like, when I played football and all that stuff. I'm definitely intense, but not like that. It's just like, it's fun to get like that. The chat likes it. I don't look at my wife and, you know, say, like, you like that, baby? Who's the dirtiest man in the fucking history of men? You know, I don't do that, you know.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. I don't even know how to. So actually, when that whole happened, like the Dirty Nightman thing, some things just happened, and it was the first Bot Wars, like, a long time ago. And I told Civil that or something like that, and I asked my wife after I was like, why are all these guys, like, tagging me and saying no one fucks with the Dirty Nightman, you know? And she was like, well, baby, that's because you call yourself that. You look at the camera and you say that you're the Dirty Nightman. And then ever since then, you know, I'm the Dirty Nightman.
All right. Now, as far as streaming, what motivates you?
My family. Really my daughter the most, right? Like, my motivation I feel like anybody could be a father, but being a dad means that, one, you're there. Two, if you can't be there every day, depending on what that reason is, you do the best you can to make sure that your daughter or son knows that you even fucking exist. And I'm sorry, I know the F-bomb is bad on the videos. You can blurt it out. But I remember my dad. My dad's a very successful person, come from nothing, worked hard, did whatever he had to make sure that me and my two little sisters had what we needed and more. But he had to do that in a way that he was in another country, or he was, working all the time, had to leave the house. And I'll do that too if I have to, right? There's no guarantees in life in general, especially streaming. The numbers can go way up, they can go way down. But that's what motivates me is like when my daughter's old enough and she's playing soccer or ballet, if you work, whatever you do, if it ain't from home, or, you don't win the lottery, sometimes you got to tell your daughter or your son, I'm sorry, I can't make the game. I remember my dad almost made every game. He'd come from a flight from Venezuela or Argentina, and then he'd be there. He'd get off the flight and drive immediately to the games. But when he'd miss it, he hated that. And I didn't feel good for me either. It's not his fault. I understood. But that's what motivates me the most is, one, there's nobody that can limit and tell me, like, this amount is the most you could make sub-wise and the most income that is possible, because there's nothing that anyone could tell me is possible in this life, from the way that I've already lived and years prior, and then just in my short time in Twitch, I know what is possible and what isn't. I know that there's a ceiling in the game that we play, or the game that we choose to stream, which happens to be Madden or football gaming. There's a limited audience, but that would be a personal decision. The talent level of what you are and how hard you want to work will determine what your ceiling is. I mean, if I reached the ceiling, I would know. And if I felt like, myself or my family, like that wasn't enough, because football in general, like it's not a global thing. I mean, there is football in different countries, but it ain't the same, right? It's not the same as Call of Duty or whatever, but that's what motivates me. That's the long answer. That's the deep answer is finding a way to make a living, do my part. And then even when I'm working, right, 60-hour weeks on stream, 50-hour weeks on stream, 10-hour streams, 12-hour streams. At least my daughter, when she's walking around, she sees daddy, like that makes a difference.
All right.
It makes a difference. That's what I always want to try to do.
All right. Now, do you feel cross-dressing has helped you gain success or hate on Twitch?
Oh, neither.
Okay.
Well, I guess if I had to choose, I would say hate, definitely. I mean, no one in their logical mind would be able to say that my success comes from cross-dressing.
All right.
That's just a funny thing. I mean, I would ask you, do you think that I'm successful on Twitch because I dressed up as Wanda twice?
I mean, of course, I would say no. Because, you stream a lot more without the dress on than...
Yeah.
So.
I've streamed quite a bit without the dress on, every day without a dress on, except twice. So if I had to choose, I guess it would say hate, but it's really irrelevant to me. I read all kinds of hateful messages every single day. I just in one ear out the other.
All right. Now, how far do you think being in Bot Wars sped up your development on Twitch?
I think Bot Wars sped up my development. I don't know how much, but I know this is my answer. A lot of people have been on Bot Wars, and a lot of people have gained no success after, right? Mm-hmm. What Bot Wars does is it takes an audience, right? An audience that may never have seen somebody. I mean, I wasn't irrelevant yet. I wasn't the word irrelevant as far as viewership, probably like 30 to 50. But that ain't a big time stream, in our game, it's not a ton of viewers. But I think just like anything in life, right? Like, let's say the starting quarterback gets hurt and you get put in a big game. Everyone's watching. If you suck, it does nothing for you. It actually hurts you. And I don't mean suck by, that's an actual performance. So the thing with Twitch is, like, you could suck at the game, And then you could also have a sucky, like, you're not that guy. You don't have the personality. People aren't like, holy shit, who is this guy? He's funny. What Bot Wars did to speed up development is it gave me a stage, a platform with people watching, and then I took it, right? I didn't get thrown to 3rd and 5 and drop it with the game on the line to win. I caught it. And so a lot of people, you know, they have the stage and they drop the pass. Right. But that's what I love and appreciate about that for anybody. And for the people that, you know, in the future get on that show, definitely make sure that you make the most of those people, because it isn't the people that already know you should be worried about, right? I didn't give a shit what Civil or Mazomatic or Jay Bird or anybody in the chat that already knows me has to say. I don't really give a shit what anyone has to say. But I know that there's people that had no idea who Ragusa 6 Quick was.
Right.
And after watching that, based on how they perceive me and the performance that I put on, because that's what Twitch is. It's a live performance. We're basically, in a sense, the way that I would view, there's different streamers, you know, some people that are just good at the game. They're fucking, whatever game they played are really good. And you know, they just sit back and ball out. But for the most part, I think I'm good at the game, but I want to make sure I provide, you know, like this game, I'm not super fond of certain things in this game. I don't think it's great that guys drop picks and that anybody can basically beat anybody based on just throwing it up and hoping that, you know, the other guy isn't there, and that if he is, he drops the pick. But what they can never take, no matter what game they make or whatever game any streamer plays, is they can't take your personality. They can't take who you are as a streamer, you know, and that's different for everybody. So,
right. What made you join the crew? You had said before the Ragman wouldn't do crews.
You mean a stream team? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, well, stream team. Well, yeah, pretty much, yeah, stream team crew. I mean, I guess people look at Needed as a crew. It's more of a stream team, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, it's different than a crew. Yeah, I did say that, and I actually said that to my chat. It's actually funny, but I'll answer this best as I can. So, literally, like a week before, because I mean, sometimes they message people, they want to be on their stream team, especially, you know, I don't care what anyone's opinions are of Dubby, but you can't deny that he's a success on Twitch and that he's an entertaining streamer, regardless of opinions. That's not why I'm on here, to give my opinion. I mean, clearly I like him. He hasn't done anything but nice things for me. But before I woke up one day, I woke up just with a random, you know, did I want to be a part of his stream team, Need It, you know, his brand. And so, but a week before I was talking to the chat and I was like, we ain't no stream team. We come from nothing, all of us, you know. Our chat's full of all kinds of people, you know, but that's just what I'm saying. I was like, we're our own stream team, you know, everyone that's here, you know, I try to help you. You know, we got self-promo tabs for mods in Discord and stuff, and we call our own stream, you know, we're our own entity as far as the community. Everyone's welcome, but the people that rock and roll with us, you know, call ourselves the dirty people, you know, just whatever. But I think of it this way. I never thought I would. That's why I said I never would. I definitely wouldn't look at it as a crew because we don't lab together. We don't do Discord talks. It's more of a way of, you know, people that, I mean, I don't know why everyone else is on there. I can just speak for myself, but if I was going to join a stream team, like the way it works, you know, like let's say, you know, W ain't streaming. Well, he hosts channels, you know, he hosts Joff, he hosts, you know, Little Man, he hosts all these different people. And the same thing, we have auto hosts that help other people based on the stream team. I don't choose whoever else is on there. Mike Skimbo, he's on there. But I just looked at myself and I was able to work very hard and not take any handouts. You know, I don't go in W's chat and beg him. I don't go in his Twitter DMs and beg him for anything. I just genuinely, we chit chat whenever. But when I read the message, I actually messaged him back. I was like, "Are you trying to troll me? Are you messing with me?" And he was like, "No, I'm serious." and obviously, you know, his former team, that was actually his friends, and they split up, right? So his original stream team was his friends, and that didn't, you know, everyone knows what happened with all that, and I'm not here to talk about that. I don't know all those people, or I know like the information everyone hears, but it's none of my business, and I won't even speak on that. But I was talking to him, and I was like, well, what do you want, you know, like, because in my mind, you know, people don't normally like, because naturally, you know, he has a bigger stage and platform, but he's earned that. He's been doing this 6 years. I'm just barely over a year in, and I had no socials until eight months ago. So, you know, doing things the right way, I wasted time. But he basically said, you know, I do whatever I want. You know, I'm still do what I've been doing. I'm still my own entity, you know. And to me, that was like when I was like, all right, well, I wanna be associated with people that have worked and grinded, right? Like he didn't have what he had, you know. Like he shows pictures of stream setups. I wish I still had mine, but his were even, you know, he didn't have the little man cave and all that stuff, you know. He worked for that, so I worked for where I'm at now, and I'd like to be associated with other people that have like minds and like interests as far as taking Twitch and doing the most that we can with it. You know, Mike Skimbo, Little Man, the baseball guy. It's Joff, you know, and it's nice because you see everyone's at a different place, but you know, I go in It's Joff stream. I like him. I think he's gonna be a great streamer. It's just I think he told me that he had quit streaming and stuff, so he's getting back into it, you know, and then Little Man, everyone knows who he is. He's a freaking amazing, incredible story. And that's why, you know, I don't look at it. It's not a crew, you know. We don't. Everyone's just doing their own thing, really. It's just we, you know, help each other out when we see, you know, we're not online, so the other person is, and if not, you know, you auto host when you're offline and stuff, and it's cool because we're not the one thing, you know, some places or stream teams, especially, they would even think that Mike Skimbo and or Dubby, you know, but Mike Skimbo's on Need It too. But they'll think that, you know, like there's some privacy going on. It says like, you know, when you get offline, if there's a Need It guy on, you have to host him or rate him, and that just ain't true. I mean, you can ask. I mean, I hosted GED like a few days ago with 115 people. Right. You know, so that was really it. I joined because I wanted to be. I look at the top, and if I think of people that started, you know, and grinded, and they didn't do it like me. They really grinded. Like they didn't bartend, and they didn't have another, like, if it didn't work, right? Like these guys really just gamers, man, and then entertain and build their streams up. So, you know, that's why I joined. I'm still a rag, man. I'm still, you know, I didn't even have to put the Need It logo on my webcam. I just wanted to. I mean, I think it's a cool thing to be associated with.
Now, as far as joining the stream team, was there a contract that needed to be signed before joining?
A contract? More like just a discussion. There's you can read like stream teams like, yeah, there's my own thing, but there's no contract. Like everyone is still their own, like I was saying, their own entity. No contracts. Just sign an agreement. Like literally, like right now, if I wanted to, I could go to my about and leave the stream team if I wanted to.
Okay.
I wouldn't, but you know what I
there's
mean?
a couple people out there who are like, oh, you know, to join, you know, he's charging per month and blah blah.
I'm actually glad you mentioned that, right? Because so I asked him that, right? And I know why you're asking that, and I heard someone say that, and that's just not true at all. And it bothers me that that's even said, but also I think that it was misunderstood. So what y'all heard Trey say in that was about a 70-30. Trey was in the stream team hoping to get us what's called like a 70-30, which isn't from W or anyone else. It was just sometimes Twitch will increase the revenue split on subs. I think I don't know for sure. I mean, just from what I hear, that sometimes they can, but that just didn't happen. But that's really not no one taking from what I understand. No one taking his money. I mean, why would Dubby take Trey's money when Dubby has, you know, 3,000, 4,000 subs on a consistency, and Trey has 1,000. I mean, it would be almost it just wouldn't make sense, and that's not what happened. I mean, but I don't think Trey. I heard that too. Like I know why people are asking that, but I think Trey, when he said 70-30, or maybe he said something else that I just didn't catch. I'm not sure. Maybe he said that they were taking his money, but from what I understand, I mean, even Rob, right? You know who Rob is, right?
Yeah.
Che, he helps with all those stuff. He's been nothing but kind to me too. I've actually tried to pay Rob to help me because he did all my overlays before I joined Need It, and he won't even accept my money. So I just can't imagine that people were taking money unless maybe it was different, right? Maybe they had a contract. That's why I'm saying I don't know. But personally, no one takes any of our money, and I don't get any of their money. It's just really just he just wants W. When I asked him before joining, he said, I just want, I'm done focusing on guys that are just on the stream team based on if they win a bunch of Madden games. Like I want people that work hard and want to grow and stuff. They just added Tim. You know who Tim is? You probably don't even know Tim.
That one guy, Tim?
Yeah, Tim. Yeah, you know Tim. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tim. He's a young guy. He's not like a big streamer by any means, and he's on the team, and he's a great guy. He's on the team because he works hard, and I mean, if that was the case, it would be impossible. Like, I don't know how many subs Tim has, but I don't think he has like over 1,000 subs, I mean, they're not gonna take his, and then it's just, but maybe it was different for the other guys, but from what I have an agreement with, that's not even close, It's just everyone's making their own whatever his take is his take, and whatever else, if there was an increase based on something else, then maybe we would do a contract. Like if the Ragman went from whatever he is now to something way above, and that was a huge part of our growth, and it'd be inhumane of me to not kick back to people that helped me take myself to another level that I was not at on my own, if that makes sense. It's like if you had a business partner or something, and you had an agreement, and then you would renegotiate based on that to continue being a part of, and then you'd be like, oh, I want to do that or I don't. But right now, it's just guys that work hard and rock the brand, but everyone's kind of, their own entity still.
Now, what's the drama between you and your mama? Because I heard that he was saying that you weren't cool with what W said, and now you're in it. Now you're on the stream team.
Oh yeah. I talked to him on the phone about that. He misunderstood what I said completely, which I don't know how you misunderstood what I said, and that's why. I mean, you can. Oh, I can't show that. That shows his damn phone number. But you didn't. But yeah, we talked on the phone. That's why. I mean, I'll probably go on there and talk to him. I told him just like I told you. Like, I'm not gonna go on anyone and interview and be asked dumbass questions.
All right.
As far as if you want to interview me, ask me about me, and then if you ask about who I associate with, ask why I did something. Don't ask me questions about someone else. But I called him because I don't know. We talked on the phone. I have his number. We chat every now and then, which is why it's crazy. But everyone thinks differently than me. I know that he isn't liked by a lot of people that I'm friends with, but that's why my friends are my friends. My friends don't not like me because I try to see the best in someone until they are shitty to me, and then when they're shitty to me, then I just okay, I just, what am I gonna waste my energy and speak to you? I mean, I'll be just fine not talking to you. But I told him, I was like, because he made a video and I called him about it, and it was the video like showing all the past stuff and whatnot, which I'm not even gonna mention or bring up. Past is past, in my opinion. I don't think that we can ever escape our past. I essentially said I didn't even know any of that, but it is what it is. And I said, and then I don't know where the conversation went, but none of the conversation ever said anything about not being cool with Dubby. It was just like I actually in the conversation I was like, you don't really think he's a racist, do you? And he was like, no. And then he was like, I'm actually in the video. I'm talking about Trey and these guys, and I'm confused with whatever that guy's ever saying, because when I talk to him, it's like he likes Dubby, but then he makes these videos like talking nasty about him. But then I tell him I don't mind a lot of the videos as long as they're truthful things, and that's what his videos mostly are from what I see. You know, they're things that he grabs that were actually done or whatever, and that's the beauty of America, is we can make content however we want, but the beauty of an individual is to not make lies or you know, for lack of better words, bullshit content. And so that's why I told him, you know, you can make these funny videos about me and you can say what you want, but quit fucking lying, dude. I don't like that stuff. I didn't say that, and that's why the tweet and the commenting stopped. But then we talked on the phone, and he was like, you know, when you come on the show, I'll clarify that, which is cool. You know, I'll go on his YouTube and talk to him same as I am you, as long as it's about me, and as long as he does what he says and says, you know, you didn't say that, because that stuff bothers me, right? Like I really don't like lies. But lies are they're terrible, because then the people you're saying lies about have to have another conversation to clarify, like I am now with you or whatever, that's just not true.
Right.
Which is fine. I mean, I'm fine with having to clarify, but I can just skip all that by just not associating with people, you know, like do like everyone else and just block people. I choose not to, because sometimes I think like the last video he did, you know, is like, it's pretty funny. It's like a rap video and it's me, and, you know, I look at it as, you know, because I could literally, just how you talk to me about coming on your show, there's permissions and stuff. Like I could easily just be like, you can't use my face, you can't use my voice, you can't do that unless you pay me. But I don't do that to people, right? I literally look at it as free exposure. If only 2 people from that community, if 2 of them are assholes and all they do is come and they bother me, well, we just ban them, or, you know, they go to like the virtual fence, and hopefully when they, like in football, when they tell you go touch the fence and you come back, maybe you have a better attitude. But you know, maybe 2 people are cool and they're like, hey man, I saw you from here. That's 2 people that, you know, part of our community now. So I don't ever even think about that. But when people are twisting words, stuff makes me mad. But in the conversation, he told me, he was like, well, I just misunderstood, because, you know, I grew up different. Like I personally, I would never say certain things. And that's, and for instance, I grew up, like, so when Katrina happened, right, and whatnot, we actually had a family from the Katrina that lived with our family on my father's private property in our house, in the suburbs of like the Houston area in high school. And I still speak to those people. When they lost everything, we helped them get a new apartment, and they're from a totally different culture. It's different everywhere. Like everywhere is different. Like, yes, there's like, I'm not black, I'm white, I'm Italian, whatever. But how do I say this? Like California is different than Louisiana, and Louisiana is different than Houston or the inner city of Houston. And just like, you know, Beverly Hills is different than, you know, whatever the nicest place is in Houston is, right? Everyone is still different culture as far as that. Does that make sense? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
And so he took it as, just because I wouldn't say something that I don't like someone that said something. I mean, I'm not a judgmental human. I mean, I'm really not. So just because I wouldn't say something, you know, I grew up with people that would tell me, like when I was younger, I wish I could find a picture. I had tattoos at like, you know, 15, 14, but when I was 13, you know, I mean, all my friends, you know, they weren't white. I mean, they just weren't. I don't know why, but they just weren't. And they would always tell me, you know, you're not even white, you know, they would tell me that I'm something else. I want, you know, and I'd be like, no, you know, whatever. But I still never said that word, right? My friends would tell me like, yeah, you can say the word and my friends are black. You can say the word as long as it, you know, it has an A at the end, you know, you're cool. And I still wouldn't. It just wasn't for me. But, you know, nothing in our conversation even had to do with that. I said, you know, it's crazy to me that all these people are like making videos and like saying that they're not going to be on a great show where other people are watching, and they're literally not a big big person yet, and all Bot Wars is a promotional thing for someone that isn't Dubby, right? Like Dubby's putting on the show, people enjoy it. If you have a chance to be on the show, why would you tell people that you're never going to be on the show? They're still going to watch the show. So that's crazy, but to each their own.
All right. Now, I mean, of course, according to Bobby V, 20 people are going to watch this video. So instead of the 2 people, you might get 20 people to come over, But,
I don't think, is that what he said?
Of course, everybody, when everybody argue with me, they always go to my viewers on Twitch and YouTube. Like, that's their best shot.
The thing I'd say about that is, I mean, there's almost 400 people in my Discord. So anything I'm a part of, I always share it and tell people in my Discord to watch. So there'll be people that watch from there too. And I mean,
of course, I think he was just upset because his video hasn't hit 100 views. So I think that's why he's mad. But
between you and Bobby V though.
All right, so now this is the question that everybody has, including me. Mainly when I first started playing you. But I'd say I've had about a good 6 or 7 people come to me with this question, so I'm glad that I'm able to ask it now. When you lose, why do you shit on people who don't have a platform, but for the ones that do have a platform, you say GG? Such as a great player as, Problem, maybe, like you said, D-Croft, or let's say you play them and, it's GG, that was a great game, win or lose, but you play somebody, for instance, I'll just say me, because I can't think of people, right now. You'll say, like, you suck, fuck you, put your nose up my ass or something, like, I know from like I said, I know from meeting you, it's from, it's a show, you put on a show. But for the ones that don't know, though.
I mean, so think about that, right? So let's really think about that question and how it just can't be true, right? So just for you, for instance, like I've rated and hosted you several times, even when I didn't even know you, and at the end of the day, like the people asking that, you can't really say everyone. You would have to say whoever's saying that. But even ask yourself that, like, how is that true, right? And even when I'm saying that to you, is because your friends are coming in the stream and they're saying a bunch of shit in between plays. So then, it hypes it up. Then I'm going to say what I want to say because they're coming in our stream and then running their mouths for you. And so in return, it makes the entertainment level of that even better because now I'm just saying stuff and it happens to be you I'm playing, but I'm talking to, 10 of your buds that came in the stream or however many come in the stream and they're saying stuff to me. And then on top of that, I mean, I can remember I hosted some other guy I didn't even know. It was a guy I was playing. He came in the stream. He wasn't talking crazy to me. He didn't know that I was going to host him. And, he come into the stream. He was like, good game, and whatnot. Don't take it personal because, I mean, I'm competitive. If I think that you're throwing shit and eventually I feel like I'm going to get it and I get it, I'm going to tell you about the shit that I just took from you. I just took that shit and I told you it was going to happen. But in the end, that guy, I forget his name. What's his name? You know what I'm talking about. He was drinking the beers in the morning. Hispanic guy.
Shit, that's a good question.
You know exactly who. I don't know his name, man. It was a great game. He got a Hail Mary and then went for 2 and then he didn't get the 2-point conversion. And I was telling him live on stream.
Mexican gang.
Yeah, that guy. I mean, go ask him if he thinks that's true. I mean, I hosted him with 100+ people. I didn't even know him. So It's just not true.
Okay, now, if your game plan is to run options mainly all game, why do you get so upset about losing to the ones who can stop it?
I don't get upset about losing to people stopping the option. I don't know how that's even true. And plus, I mean, look at my game plan isn't to just run options. Do you think I just run options in all our games? I mean, any games we've played, did my options, were they the only thing that beat you? No, I threw the ball very clutch. I mean, there was one game last year against you. It was a weekly game. And some of those fucking clutch passes, I mean, I couldn't see your face, but you couldn't have said that you were cheated. You must have been like, what the fuck? Because the play's fucking made, right? The play's made. So my game plan is definitely not to just run options. If somebody's stopping the option, something else is open. I don't. What was that? What the end of that question was? Do I get mad if they stop it or whatever? What?
Yeah.
I don't get mad if they stop it. I mean, that's football. I get mad that sometimes, based on how the game's made, the option isn't stopped sometimes, or the play that's called isn't stopped sometimes, like me or you, who is making a play with our user. Like, that's why I enjoy playing you. And a lot of people, you know, they don't just go around in a circle and let their guy go. But it's pretty disgusting that you win or lose a game based on just some fluke luck that a guy just let him go. And you're sitting there thinking that, you know, you're running a play, you got the AI, you got the computer, and then the difference maker is you versus the other guy. But that's just not what happens. But I mean, yeah, any scheme can get stopped. It's like you run the split close, you want to run the ball and then pass the ball, just like that's what football is. If you can't run the ball, then you got to pass the ball more, which leaves more coverage open. I mean, you're never going to be happy when you get stopped, but I wouldn't say I don't like people that have beaten me. I mean, that's crazy.
Okay,
especially
now
this year. I mean, it's impossible to win every game this year. I think it's impossible.
all right. Okay, so another question: why do you put out ebooks, or why have you put out a ebook? Because I don't know if you put out multiple or not, but
Why do I put out ebooks? I mean, I put out my ebook last year because last year people couldn't run the ball at all, and I'm running the ball on guys for 250, 300 yards that won 3 F and Fs in a row. But I don't even put out an ebook anymore like that. I have a partnership or agreement with Zan Madden, who has the Gridiron Game Plans website. And so we have an agreement. So my content actually goes through there now. So the scheme was so relevant and good. That's the thing, like, people that just play it, they don't understand all the plays because they may just get beat by 2 plays. But the good people, like I played you saw all the pass plays, you saw different runs, different movement. The people that you have to do different stuff to. Oh, sorry, my daughter. You know, it's more than a game plan. Like, I use an entirety of the book almost, as far as, like, I don't know how many pistol formations there are, but we could literally run them all and have a reason for it.
now
But I mean, naturally, I mean, anyone should put out a game plan, right? Like, you should put out a game plan if you're streaming and playing a game, and as long as you're not copying. The only thing is, right? Like, you can't put, if someone's running bunch, your success rate of selling that is like, why would I buy your bunch when I could go buy Wesley's bunch or Pavan's bunch, right?
all right.
So I would say to people, just like you like to run the split close that nobody really runs now, you'd be cheating yourself not to market your game plan if you know how to develop and explain it to people. That's why I made an agreement with Zan, because I'm not the greatest teacher in the world, and rather than giving people a nicely made Google Drive document, you know, it's still nice. I'd rather, you know, for the same price, or actually cheaper, $10, you can get a bunch of nice videos and updates that are done on somebody else. You know, that's what they love to do. I'm not the greatest teacher.
Now, as far as streaming, what's next? I know you've made partner. Congratulations on making partner. So what's next?
Thank you. Say what's next? I don't know. I don't know what's next. I guess what's next is to just continue to grind and stay consistent with that, right? Like, if you read, a lot of times people get partner and their viewers drop and their subs drop, but if you look at the person, it's not that people just disappeared. It's like they grinded for a check mark. Well, you know, I didn't know if we'd get it. Actually, our review, they said it takes, excuse me, my dip got me. Don't dip, it's bad. Tobacco's bad. It takes like up to, like, you know, they say like 7 to 14 days. It took like 32 days, but then I told everyone on stream, I was like, well, I would take a while too. I said, you know, Linda, what do you think about this guy? And Linda said, well, you know, he's done everything we asked him. Everything we asked him, Jimmy. Everything. He's got the viewers. the consistency, the hours. He's doing what everyone else had to do. But 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 look at what he said. Look at this. Well, if you look in the TOS, he didn't break it. He's just talking about virtual pounding, and football is a game in the trenches. He's talking about pounding the opposition, yards on yards, and asserting dominance on the other man. But anyways, I told him like they probably had to decide if that was a good idea or not. But so it took a little longer. But I never grinded this to get a check mark or whatever. The cool thing about the check mark is it opens up other things. Like I have today Wednesday, I have another like an interview, a partnership interview tomorrow with like a very well known company. I won't say exactly because I don't know if I'll accept it or what's gonna be said, But I think it opens up doors, right? Like because sometimes companies just look at it this way. Like I went to college, played football. I had a scholarship, but sometimes a company. I mean, it's not really what you know, it's who you know. And in the real world, I mean, I still think that's what my dad told me. But certain companies, you could be the smartest person in the world. You could be the best at everything. But they want to see that you can finish something, right? Like, so a piece of paper, like a degree, doesn't define, your success or your ability to even, make money or be success. But it shows people that you can finish. And so partnership, you have to achieve certain things, and that's what certain companies, that are big global companies, much bigger than, the Ragman will ever be, or a lot of people will ever be as an individual. They're big, so that check mark is important to open up other doors sometimes. But what's next is, I really, that's what the hard balance is nothing really changes for me. I'm a hard worker in anything I do, but I guess I'd really like to take it to the next level. Like I look at like the last ladder day, 10-6 in the state of this game. So I'm at number 71 right now, but I really only can watch the VOD, and only 3 games I deserve to lose. And I know it sounds crazy, but if you've played this game enough, you'll understand. Like game on the line, the guy throws the ball right to you and you drop it. Well, the next play he scores, and then, you're in overtime. He wins the toss, you lose. If those things don't happen, we're 13-3, which is a top 10 placement. So I guess what's next is that I don't care about EA Sports and their games and relying on them. I don't think anyone should, because that's a dangerous thing. We all had high hopes about this game. I even said, well, the game last year, as long as it is just a little better than that one, well, then it'll be better. And then, I can't lie, I mean, the game is not better. It's much worse, but it has the potential. If they fix 4 or 5 critical things, it'll be the best game ever, but they don't fix them. So they know what everyone's saying is wrong with the game. They're not biased decisions. They're not biased things. They're just things that everyone that cares about the integrity of the game says, and they just don't change it. They just sit there and say that we complain, and that's just not true. So I guess what's next is to try to find a balance in, my mental space. I'm a competitive human. Some people would think it's crazy. Like, how is he upset? Like, how is he having a bad day on stream? Like, the stream's good. There's people in there, the subs are good, but you can't change your personality and your makeup. Some people are just streaming so they can, be a streamer. But I just happen to be relevant as a streamer right now. But that doesn't change that I like winning and I like competing, right? And if I lose, I want it to be because the other guy made the play, not because when they threw it to me, I dropped it. And then, that's what football gaming, that's what makes it cool, is it's chess, I think you would agree. You've been playing it a long time too. So what I'd say was next, to sum it up, is to try to find a way, no matter the state of the game, to win and take the stream to another level, because the stream's going to be okay. And I'm not saying this for just me. I just mean if you're a streamer, you don't live and die off of how you do in an MCS event. You don't that's insanity that people think that that's how success is breeded. It's not true at all. But what it does do, right? So we get the ladders this weekend. We, as in, hypothetically, it happens to be me, but anybody, and you make it through the next weekend, and then you go to the double elims. What are people going to watch? They want to watch that stuff. They're not going to love you more or less if you do bad. They're not going to love you more or less if you don't make it. But by making it to those things, it just gives you another opportunity to have that day, right? So my next step would be to try to find a consistency, you know, like I don't care that EA Sports says, well, clearly there's a skill gap. Look, there's the same guys. Well, look what the same guys are doing. I'm not gonna be a puppet show and run stuff that is literally only working because of a bad coding. Like safety's standing up at the DN the whole game and shedding 300-pound men, and then they're not even usering. They're just going in a circle and letting their guy go. I'm not going to do that. It wouldn't be good for me as a streamer. Why would anyone want to watch my 335 wide when you can go watch Clef the Gods? I mean, I'm not going to run bunch, and those things are good because they don't listen to everyone's take. They listen to the same people. So obviously those people love the game because they don't have to change anything. They just drop back, pick a combo, and then, the deep half is now confused. I mean, that just ain't how football works. I mean, yes, there's hole shots. I mean, played a long time. I think you played football, right?
Yeah.
So that's how games used to even play. I mean, I played games. You've been playing a little longer than I have. But I've been playing since I was 12 years old, NCAA, and that game was pretty good. And that's what makes me upset is, like, if we're in cover 2, there's a hole shot, right? That's what we used to always attack. It's either in the middle if there's no deep middle third or your user's not there, or it's in between the cloud and the deep half. And if you pull that deep half a little sucked into the middle based on a vertical threat, well, now you can take that whole shot, rack, catch, and score, just like real football. Mm-hmm. But now, now they've taken it to another level, and so that's why the same guys are successful, because they're just doing the same thing that has been happening since the zones have decreased in relevance. I mean, and then what they did is they plugged in a little off topic here, but they plug in sliders, like the turbo running slider. So when someone hits turbo, which not everyone can control their fingers, the same way that, other people can. Like, I'm pretty good on the sticks, but the person that's learning how to play, and then they're wondering why none of the plays work because they're barely hitting turbo, and then the defense is turbo shedding. That's bad, but they put that crap in there. So instead of putting real logic as far as, run fits and size and weight and all that stuff, they just hit turbo, free shed. And so it's the same thing with the zones, But that would be my main thing to increase, would be find a way to win those games, just to have, like, it's not going to change my life or nothing, but it definitely feels good to win, and it gives you an extra day. When they're doing the double elims, if I'm streaming head-to-head, until the double elims are done, why am I streaming head-to-head? I won't be. I'll be watching the double elims, so hopefully I'm there,
All right. Well, it was great having you on the show. I'm glad we were able to finally get this done.
Me too. I apologize, for pushing it back. It wasn't what you tweeted. I mean, what you said. It had nothing to do with your platform or whatever. It's just the first time we agreed. I mean, I ended up just, I don't want to go and talk to you or have people watch me if I'm just not myself. I mean, that's why I texted you last night. I mean, I didn't know if I was losing my mental toughness or if I just had a bad day. But you saw when I woke up early this morning, I told you, I was like, scratch that, we can do it.
Yeah, no,
I enjoyed it, man. I did.
I appreciate it.
Definitely send me the link. Yeah, thank you. Send me the link and I'll share it on my socials too, man, whenever it's ready to go.
Alrighty. Well, like I said, I appreciate having you.
You too, brother.
All right.
Later.